Real quick, man. James Franklin. James Franklin was undefeated. Still, according to this week's poll, as we saw, he's in the playoffs. Right? I don't know who he'd be playing. I don't know if you still got a streak who's playing, but 7-1. They end up losing last week to Ohio State by 7 points. They had several opportunities to score to get in, and they did not. He got into some fan altercations, whatever, walked it off, however it is. But the Penn State fan base has had it up to here. Give it to him, Queen. I got it. Give it to him, Queen. Latifah. Give it to him, Queen. You got it. Give it to him, Queen. Latifah.
What are we talking about here?
That Penn State fan base has had it up to here with James Franklin. He is 1-13 against Ohio State, I think. That's what they said. Something like that. He couldn't get over the Michigan hump. He couldn't get over the Ohio State hump. At least it's a 12-team playoff, so he has another opportunity to make it happen. But they're talking about firing this guy.
And he ain't did a bad job.
He hasn't done a bad job, but I always tell people once the bar goes up, it never goes down. So once he raised the bar and you got to the Michigan, Ohio State bar, and you can't get over that hump to get you to the bigger bowl games, that's what's happening. Fortunately for him, it's a 12-game playoff, 12-team playoff, and he's still in it right now. I don't think he's going to lose because he only has, and some people are saying Washington may beat him. My guy, if Washington beats him, I think he may get fired. But he has Washington, Purdue, Minnesota, shout out to the wholesome one, and Maryland. I don't see them losing any more of those games, so I think they're going to be safe. They don't have any ranked opponents that they'll be playing. But people are talking about Washington may beat them. I don't know. But what I will say is, how do you fire a dude that goes 11-1? And they lost to the third ranked team. Bruh, like
name another job of employment that works like that.
Like outside of sports, you mean? Because I can say another sport.
You're literally standing at the top of the building, looking at the rest of your peers below you, right? And your constituents, your fan base, your boss is about to push you off the building and go get one of those guys.
Hold on. Going to get a guy who has only done less in their career. It's like this, Street. It's like taking the Yahoo CEO who keeps coming up behind Google in the search engine. Right? Like it's Google, Yahoo. And you like, man, you can't beat Google right now. I'm going to get rid of you. And I'm going to go get the intern from Google from Bing.
Right. Like, he might be the next prodigy.
Right.
How often does it happen, like what happened at Georgia when Kirby came in and replaced Rick, who was doing a decent job, couldn't win the big one, and then Kirby comes in and all of a sudden Georgia's national champ? How often does it happen?
Oh, God, help me, Lord. Shout out to Fail State University. They have failed at all aspects.
But how often does that happen? That the new face comes in, kind of like what happened at TCU. Does that happen often?
Jimbo Fisher did it to Bobby Bowden.
Well, we may be on to something.
Urban Meyer did it. Urban Meyer did it.
Well, he the GOAT, though. Don't leave the GOAT alone. The GOAT alone. The GOAT walk in the locker room, you had 10 wins. I don't give a fuck. I don't know who on the roster. Like, he walk in the locker room. You had 10. So, but Okay, so listen, in the comment section, Hayes, is it getting a new face? Sometimes refreshes the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike what we're seeing at Alabama, or is it power from the boosters, right? The boosters keeping power, saying, let's get this guy out of here before he becomes a fixture. And we maintain the power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get a new face in here, get more tickets sold. Is it that? Because Saban becomes bigger than the boosters. If you let a Saban stick around, he wins, but now he has more power, right?
And leverage, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has more leverage. But if you keep switching guys, you have the leverage. You control him, kind of. Or is it just about, okay, the program is in mark time, and mark time is stuck in neutral. Let's get a new face in here. We get more tickets sold. We get more boosters on board. Is it that we get more guys want to invest in the program now? It ain't the same thing.
I think, in my opinion, and this is a fact, this does happen. I think at some schools you can squeeze that lemon and get all you can out of it. And I think James Franklin has squeezed that lemon, in my opinion, and gotten all he can right now. What do I mean? Being at Penn State, you're always going to be third best in the Big Ten. Now that you got Oregon in there, you're going to be the fourth best. However, the recruiting pool is different. Now, Oregon may fight for some of those players, but geographically, they're on the other side of the country. But when Penn State is fighting Ohio State and Michigan for players, they're always, in my opinion, they're going to lose more times than they win. Because really the fight is Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan, Ohio State. Then you hit a diamond in the rough like a Saquon Barkley. Right?
Right.
And I think you've gotten all you can. Because let's call a spade a spade. Even when Joe Pa was there. When Joe Pa was there, they were doing just what James Franklin did. Let's be honest now. Joe Pa, he had a statue in front of the school because he won the Natty. When did he win the Natty? In the 80s?
In the 80s. Testaverde had to throw 5 interceptions.
Right. 82 and 86. 82 and 86. After that, he was a great football, a very, very good, if you want to call him a great football team. But as far as it went.
Right.
And I think that's a testament to the school and their recruiting base. So what I'm trying to say is, I think he has a glass ceiling. He can see it up there, but he can't get beyond it. And there may be time for I think he may need to make the initiation to move. And there's talks about him going to Florida. There's talks about him going to Florida.
Franklin?
Yeah. Because here's what I know. Here's what I hear Florida. These are the 3 names I've been hearing. And I have to give Billy Napier this much credit. They're 4-4 right now. And they're doing way better than we expected. They're competitive outside of our game. And they're on their 3rd quarterback. They played Georgia tough. I know Georgia may be down, but still, they shouldn't have.
Lagway stayed in their game. They beat Georgia.
Yeah.
Yep.
So with that being, you on your 3rd quarterback, the cat from Yale. The 3 coaches I'm hearing is Lane Kiffin, Clark Leah from Vanderbilt, and Franklin as of right now. I think Franklin may need a new start, right? He may need a fresh new place, a fertile recruiting ground. Because Penn State does recruit in Florida heavy. They got my man Zane Durant right here out of Orlando, Florida, to go up there. When Manny Diaz was there, they got some more South Florida guys up that way. So they can get guys. They're just not getting the top tier guys when they have to fight Ohio State and Michigan. And think about who else they're fighting. Think about where they're located. They're fighting all these other guys. Ohio State has deep ties into Maryland. They're getting a lot of Maryland kids out of there, the Chase Youngs and all that kind of stuff. So I think it might be time to part ways mutually. But to fire him, if I'm the admin, I don't think I could fire him unless I know I'm bringing a true, proven guy in there. That's it. I mean, who am I going to replace him with? Clark Leah?
Right.
Billy Napier? And I commend James Franklin for actually, again, he took the job over 2 years after the whole Jerry Sandusky scandal, after Bill O'Brien took it for 2 years and took it. Most teams would never come back like that from that kind of scandal.
Right.
So I don't know, bro. I don't know. Hell, give Penn State old G5 Billy. See how that work out.
G5 Billy.
Penn State guy. Thank you. And that's the thing. Penn State will make the playoffs almost I guess every year with the 12-team playoff. But here's the problem with that. Penn State guy. That's you, Street? What is that?
No, what that was. Yeah, that was me.
Oh, I thought it was me. Okay. Here's my only thing, Penn State guy. Now James Franklin gets 2 strikes against him every year. He doesn't beat Ohio State or Michigan. And then when he goes into the playoff, he may lose in the first round or second round. Like, you were lucky to get in, and then when you got there, you still didn't get better.
That's tough, dog. That's tough, dog. It's almost like that. So coaching, man, that's tough, bro. Like, that's tough to be at top of your echelon and on the hot seat.
And you're recruiting against Pitt. Like, so those little diamonds in the rough might end up at Pitt. But he is 3-17 against top 10 teams in his career. He's 3-10 against 3-17 against top 10 teams in his career. Ugh. Oof.
3 and what?
17. Oof, that's tough.
You know, stats like that are kind of weird, though, right?
Yeah.
Because think about the teams that were top 10 when the season started this year.
Bro. He is only 4-16 against Ohio State and Michigan.
Wow.
It's funny. Look what it says. Franklin's Nittany Lions have long been the third fiddle to the conference heavyweights, Ohio State and Michigan, owning a 4-16 record against the two programs. That's why I say, bro, it's yeah. Yeah.
See, dog, when you start seeing stats like that, right? Like he's this and that versus top 10 teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like it proves something, right?
And the sad part that hurt them, Street, is they didn't play Michigan this year when they down. That would have helped them. Like, hey, we beat Michigan. Like, they probably could have beat them this year because Michigan hurting this year, and they're not on the schedule. I guarantee. I wish he would have switched out Michigan for that Ohio State. I guarantee that.
You say he would have switched them out?
Man, James Franklin gave up 50% of his salary, man. Switch out Michigan with Ohio State, dog. Let me get that game. Yeah. So here's my question. Should they fire James Franklin? I don't think so. I do think James Franklin is in a glass ceiling right now. And he may need to move on to a different situation. I know it's going to be hard. You built a lot there. You spend a lot of time there. It's kind of like your home. But there's a point where you, in your job, you've kind of reached a plateau, and you may, And there's gonna be some jobs open this year. It's gonna be some jobs open. So I mean, and it's hard. Like, how do you leave the number 16 right now?
No, it's gonna be some jobs open this year now. You can't get away from that.
For sure.